G'day guys, welcome back to another song tutorial video, and today we've got a good one. We had a request over on YouTube from Loki and Thor, and the song they've requested is The Trooper by IRON Maiden. Now this channel is for beginner drummers, and this in itself is not really a beginner drummer song. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what he's playing, break it down and simplify it into something that a beginner drummer might be able to play. Now, unfortunately, there is one element to this song that we can't change, and that's the speed. So it's quite a fast song. They start out at 158 beats per minute, and by the end of the song, they're playing at about 163, 164 beats per minute. But if you're comfortable playing a simple groove at that speed, then you should be able to follow along and pick up and play fundamentally what he's playing in this song. So that there gives you a pretty good idea of what I was talking about. So the groove itself in this song is basically the same the whole way through. It only changes a bit in the bridge, and it's that kind of galloping groove feel. So that da 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 da. And so the groove that he plays to give that kind of galloping effect, as you saw in the first part of that intro, he has bass drum pairs that are pretty close together. So if you can't do that, all you have to do is play the root note of those bass pairs, so the first one. You can modify it, so anytime there's a bass drum pair, you just take out the second note, so that would turn into this. So for a beginner drummer, that's actually a pretty simple groove. All you're doing is playing straight, basically, but what you're changing is the bass drum that would normally then fall on the 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're changing it to the ands of each quarter note. And so the only thing to do is get comfortable with that groove so that you can then play it as fast as they're playing it in the song. Now, if you're able to play those bass drum pairs, then you can basically use them as much as you want. So you can do the pattern I was doing, which is 2 and then 1, 2, 1, or you can just keep them going all the way through. So you'll play something like this. So the choice is really yours. Pick the groove that suits your ability and that you know you're going to be able to play at that speed for the entire song. But I promise you, if you played this live with musicians playing the song and you played the groove that was just the simple beginner version, the only people in the audience who would have any idea you weren't playing what he's playing in the song are drummers who also know how to play this song. Now, the other really important part of this, and I mean it when I say that many reallys, is that cymbal accent that he does, which is never, ever on the 1. So he and the whole band, every second bar roughly, but whenever there is an accent to kind of finish a bar, it's not when you come back in on the 1, it's on the and of 4. So it's on the last bass drum that we would play in a bar of that beginner beat. The good thing about it is that it's always going to coincide with the bass drum that we play on the and of 4. So no matter what version of the groove you want to play with, whether you've got the bass drum pairs in there or not, there's always going to be a bass drum on the and of 4, and that is where you have your cymbal accent notifying the end of the bar, and then you come back in with the groove. And the whole band is doing it, which is why I say it's so important, because if the whole band accents on the and of 4 and then you hit a cymbal on the 1, it's going to be really noticeable. And you might as well get used to it because he's just doing it the whole way through. So for the beginner groove, here's what you're going to practice. Now, if you're a beginner drummer and that's about as much as you can handle, that's fine, because that there will basically get you through the entire song. The fact that you've got the galloping beat, it's a bit more simple, but it's still got that feel and that rhythm. And the fact that you're accenting on the and of 4 with everyone around you or with the track, to be honest, that will sound fine and it'll get you through. And once you're super comfortable with that groove and you've got it locked down, all you're really doing to expand on the song is just embellishing it with some fills that you like and that you're able to play. So now that we've established the fundamental groove for this song, let's work our way through it. So let's start off with the intro. So the intro, you've heard me play it before, where I play the intermediate and then the beginner versions. All it is basically 8 bars where you're playing nothing in terms of groove, but at the second half of every second bar, so it's a half bar fill, you're gonna fill it out with some kind of down the toms, and then you have that accent on the and of 4 as well. And also, if you're counting this song in, I would have assumed that they would have played the flam to kick it off on the and of the count in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 flam, but actually he's playing it on the 1. So this here is the pattern for the intro. So as the drummer, we're going to count the song in and then we play a flam on the 1 and then we play nothing for a bar and a half. So a count of 6. And then for the last 2 count, or the second half of that second bar, we're just playing a fill. He's basically, every single one he does is some version of going down the kit. You repeat that 2 more times, so you have another bar and a half, and another fill, and then another bar and a half of rest, and then another fill. And then for the last 2 bars, you're not playing any rest, so you're going to use those whole 2 bars to play a nice, big, long, extended fill going down the kit. Now he's got about 15 toms, and I've got the 2. But it doesn't matter, just use what you've got, just so long as when you're coming up with the fills that you want to use in this section, try and make it so that they're all going down the kit in some way. Now I'll play a beginner version of that intro section again, and I'll play it a little bit slower so it's a bit easier to follow along. So as you can see from that intro, all we're doing is taking fills that sound like the ones he's doing and we're just simplifying them. So where he would play something like, what we're going to play is, so it gives a similar effect. It's not as fast, but we're still playing the same notes down the kit. And the important thing is that we have that accent on a cymbal or on the hi-hats on the and of 4. So we come out of the intro and then we go into our galloping groove. Whatever version it is that you want to play, we're playing that. Every second bar, we're hitting the accent on the and of 4. So in this section, we're playing along with the guitar riff, the one going or something like that, but that's going on repeat. The whole section in itself is 16 bars, and in the middle of it, you might want to throw a fill in there. You can even throw one in, a small one after 4 bars, and then after 12, and then a bigger one in the middle. However you want to play it, the main thing is you keep that nice steady groove going, and you've got the accent on the and of 4 every second bar. So we play along with the guitar riff for 16 bars in total, and then we're going to go back into what we did for the introduction. So where we have pause, fill, pause, fill, pause, fill. We're going to do that pattern again. Now you can play exactly the same fills for this part as you did for the introduction. It's the exact same pattern. We have a bar and a half of rest and then a half bar fill. We repeat that 3 times and then a 2 bar fill. It's completely up to you whether you do the same ones or you change up a couple of them. Just remember, keep that pattern moving down the kit. So you've played through that section, you've just finished your 2 bar fill at the end of that 8 bar pattern, and you go straight back into your groove. But we're going to do something a bit different here. The groove is the same, but whenever he's playing along with the vocals in the verse and the chorus, I guess you'd call this part, he is doing a different pattern of accents on the cymbals. So instead of just accenting the and of 4, he's also putting accents and bass drums on the 3 and the and of 3. So it's going to look like this. So he plays those cymbal accents every second bar, the same as we were before when we were just playing on the and of 4. Now in the song, he's not playing it exactly like that every 2 bars, really strict. He's kind of playing around with it a bit. He does a few on the bell. Sometimes he'll miss out the second cymbal, so on the and of 3, and he'll just play the 3 with an accent and then the and of 4 with an accent. But generally, he's doing it every second bar. So play it every second bar as a rule, but then if you want to mix it up for a few of them, go for it. So with that, you have covered everything for the song, except for the guitar solo bridge in the middle, which we'll do next, because once he's played with that vocal, the verse and chorus section, he goes back to play with the guitar riff, which is just back to our groove with the accent on the and of 4. He plays that, then he comes back into another vocal section, verse, chorus, where we have the 3 and 4 and, what we were just doing, and then we go into the guitar solo. So when we go into the guitar solo, we're doing something similar to what we did before. We keep the same groove. All we're going to do is change up our pattern of accents on the cymbals. So it's a 4 bar pattern where the 4th bar is the only one that changes. So we have 3 bars of our standard groove, and on the 4th bar, we're going to play the accent on the cymbal on the 2 and on the 4. So it's going to look like this. And that's all you have to do to match up with the guitar solo section. So in terms of drum fills for this section, he keeps it pretty clean because obviously all the focus is on the guitarist doing their solo, loving the limelight. But what he does do is that 4 bar pattern that we just played, where we have 4 bars of groove, and on the 4th one we've got the cymbal accents on the 2 and the 4. He repeats that 4 times for a total of 16 bars, but that 16th bar, instead of doing the accent pattern, he plays a full bar fill. And then he just repeats that again. So 16 bars where every 4th bar is the accent pattern, except the last one, the 16th bar, which is a full bar fill. And then to finish the song, we go back to what we did for the introduction. So we have another round of our 8 bar pattern where we pause, play a fill, pause, play a fill, pause, play a fill, play a 2 bar fill, and then the song ends with that accent, a nice closed hi-hat or catchy cymbal, but it finishes on the and of 4 of that last bar. I'll play a nice simple version of the song now. I'll condense it a bit. I won't do every part in its entirety. I don't need to do 50 seconds of guitar solo when there's no guitar, but I'll move between the different grooves and the different accent patterns we're doing for the various sections so you can see them all put together. That will close out the video though, so thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Throw down a comment if you've got a request for a song tutorial that you want to see. Big shout out again to Loki and Thor for requesting this particular song. It's a song I'd heard, but not a song I'd ever learnt, and it's an absolute ripper. So I hope you enjoy it, have fun playing it, and I'll see you on the next one.